What's going on, fellas? It's your boy Marquette here, back with another video, and today's video is all about self-esteem. I promise you, this is not a boring topic. You may be thinking, well, I already know I gotta raise my self-esteem. Another self-esteem video. No, you don't know the importance of putting energy into this part of your life. I promise you, you are underestimating it, and I promise you, you probably don't know the subtle 6 ways that you can raise your self-esteem. Now, much like yourself, I knew that self-esteem was important, right? I read this book a little over a year ago called The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. And when I learned just how your self-esteem influences every aspect of your life, my mind was blown, bro. Like, I didn't know that you don't see a person with high self-esteem in a relationship with a person with low self-esteem. People are talking all this talk about, what you should do to get a woman, blah, blah, blah. But you kind of wash away all that lower level advice by focusing on this one area. Simply raising your self-esteem, the things you're going to tolerate from someone will automatically make it so you're no longer a vibrational match for not only women, but also friends to come into your life to really mess your shit up. So relationships are going to be strongly influenced by making this change, but also your success is going to be strongly influenced by making this change, because having a low self-esteem is going to put a glass ceiling on anything that you're looking to achieve, whether that be in your own career, whether that be with the opposite sex, whether that be the relationship you have with yourself. Your self-esteem influences it all. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 6 subtle ways, the 6 actions you can take to improve your self-esteem. And just by virtue of watching this video, I guarantee that you'll raise your self-esteem by just a little bit. So if you finish watching this video, you're going to raise your self-esteem, and you're going to come back to this video 3 to 6 months from now, an entirely different person. So if that sounds good to you, let's get started. Okay, so the first way that you're going to raise your self-esteem is you're going to get clear on your values and act upon it. Listen to me. Most people have no idea what they truly value. Okay? They have no idea what they value. And because of this, the actions that they take in life are not congruent to who they are inside, to what they really find to be important about themselves. Because the thing about values is you don't consciously choose them, you reveal them. You're already kind of living your values. If you assess your life, the things that you find to be very important, the things that you find yourself to be drawn to, the things you find yourself defending, these are your values. In my case, I go home and visit my family a lot because I'm very family oriented. I didn't choose to be family oriented. I'm just a family oriented person. So a couple of years back, I took stock in my life and saw where I was investing my energy and reverse engineered from that what my values were. And once I got clarity on what my values were, I was able to take more actions that were in alignment with those particular values. Now, the end result of doing this is, I like to say that your power level raises. If there's any like anime nerds here, people who watch Dragon Ball Z growing up, like yours truly, you remember that scene where it's like in early Dragon Ball Z where they had like the scouts where they can see your power level, and they will be like, oh, this guy's power level is over 9,000. If you want your power level, bro, to be over 9,000, get clear on your values and start acting in a congruent fashion with them. I promise you, you're going to feel better than you've ever felt. You're going to be taking action that brings a sense of pride to yourself. And more importantly, you'll be coming from a place of like a real solid frame. You'll have such a solid frame that no one will be able to shake you off of your foundation. So the first thing you can do is get clarity on your values and start acting in congruence with them. Now, the second thing that you have to focus on when it comes to self-esteem is to simply accept yourself, flaws and all, right? You want to make sure that you are accepting every aspect of yourself, because failing to do so will create a condition where you are internally at war with yourself. And this simply saps your energy, okay? So to give you an example, I used to be overweight when I was younger, and I wouldn't really address it. I never really accepted that I had a problem with food or anything like that. And that created a situation where whenever I got into a social context, a part of me was always thinking if the person I'm talking to was perceiving my weight. What was actually happening in that dynamic was I couldn't fully show up present in the interaction because part of my cognition was being reserved for thinking about like, is this person think I'm fat? Is my shirt being caught in one of my rolls? Let me go ahead and straighten it out. Am I standing up straight? You see what I'm saying? So it's like not accepting yourself is going to create this psychological energy drain that is just going to cause havoc in your life. It's going to be a very subtle thing, but it's going to have some deleterious effects. Now, that's not the only thing. Accepting yourself as you are, accepting your situation is a precondition for improving your life. Until you admit you have a problem, you can do nothing to change it. So accepting yourself is the first step you can take in raising your self-esteem, right? And we can even get meta here. You have to accept the fact, because some people watching this may be under the impression that their self-esteem doesn't require any work. Oh, I got high self-esteem already. So, well, how do you know that, bro? Have you actually sat down and truly took stock of your life to determine whether or not your self-esteem is high? Most people haven't, right? So the thing that you want to do is really take a look at yourself in the mirror and understand that the flaws that you do have, A, exist, and B, it's okay to have them because you're human. And C, if you choose to change them, you have the power to change them, right? And following that path will lead you to creating a much more prosperous and happy future for yourself. Because when you accept yourself, you learn to take your power back. You don't need the acceptance of other people. And you can show up in life more authentically. And paradoxically, showing up in life in a more authentic way causes more people to want to be on your team. Building on the last point, the third thing you can do to start improving your self-esteem is to stop looking for a savior. Oh my God, this is the biggest point, because this is the area that really speaks to me, because for the longest time, I used to look outside of myself and think that there was going to be someone to give me some opportunity, someone to help me out with X, Y, and Z. And I ultimately came to the conclusion that nobody was coming, bro. If I was going to improve the aspects of my life that needed to be improved, it was going to be up to me and me alone. And every man at some point in his life has to come to the same conclusion. So you have to stop being a perpetual Peter Pan. You got to grow up, bro, because in real life, Captain Hook wins. Captain Hook wins. So you better go ahead and get on your P's and Q's and make sure that you are doing everything you can to improve your lot in life, because nobody is coming. Sure, you can have people show you support. Sure, there's friends and family out there who can, offer a helping hand. But the ultimate saving is going to be up to you. You got to be Clark Kent and Superman, bro. You got to put the S on your own chest and save the day. So stop looking outside of yourself for people to clean up the mistakes that you made in life, for people to take responsibility, because ultimately the responsibility is yours and yours alone. Additionally, the people who you see in life who forego any responsibility as they age, they are destined to become bitter old men, looking out into the world, wondering why things never happen the way that they always envisioned. So listen to me, hear my words, all right? Take responsibility for your life. No matter what condition you're in, own up to the fact that it is your fault, because again, accept yourself, self-acceptance, accept your current situation, because then you would take the most important step to changing it. Now, the fourth thing you can do to improve your self-esteem is to start becoming more assertive and taking up space. A lot of people, if you view them in life, they try to shrink themselves. They don't want attention. They try to go along to get along. They conform as a way to not stir the pot. Even if you look at their physicality, they try to make themselves as small as possible so they don't take up space. I'm telling you to do the opposite. You need to be on your big boy shit. You need to make your presence known and use your physicality and your presence and your energy and your vibe to announce to the world that I'm here. This is a concept that I like to call red carpet energy. For those of you who don't know, I have a background in acting, and when I would teach people how to be more charismatic, I would call it red carpet energy. You want to move through the world as if you're at your own movie premiere. You're the leading man, right? And you're on the red carpet and everyone's trying to ask you questions. Like, just have that vibe about you. Walk around the world like you belong here, bro. Like, you walk into a room like you own it, like you own the restaurant, you own the hotel. Like, have that vibe about you and people will take notice, because it's the opposite energy most other people are putting off. Most other people can't even maintain eye contact. They're always slumping over, looking down, not really trying to engage. Do the opposite, bro. Announce to the world that you're here. Be more assertive. Go after what you want. Take up space. Because when you move through the world with this energy and vibe that you belong to be here, eventually you'll start believing that's the case. And that's when life really gets good. The fifth thing you can do to improve your self-esteem is always have a project. This reminds me of the book, The Way of the Superior Man by David Data, where he says to always be on your edge. And the core of masculinity is to be challenged and overcoming challenge. And my version of that is like to always have some sort of project you're working on. From a movie perspective, always have some sort of role that you are preparing for. In this way, you set yourself up to continually make progress on something that is in alignment with the values that you created on the first step to improving your self-esteem, right? And the reason why this works so well is because competence breeds confidence. And as you are progressing in a project, you are becoming more competent at that chosen task. And this could be anything. This could be improving your finances, starting a business, getting better with women, improving your body, learning habits, anything that's going to challenge you, anything that's going to cause you to expand and grow. And when you do this, you start to believe in yourself more. And as you start to believe in yourself more, you'll start to take on bigger and bigger challenges, which will cause you to believe in yourself even more. And this shit just becomes a cycle of constant improvement. Your energy will start spiraling up and you'll become a magnet for more positive things to enter your life. So the fifth thing you should do to improve your self-esteem is to always work on a project. And the last sixth step to improve your self-esteem is to follow your script. In other words, keep your word. Always do the things you say you're going to do. And I'm talking to myself here because this is the roughest part for me. And my ADHD brain, bro, I say a lot of shit. I tell people left and right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then end up just not having the time to do it all. But this is incredibly important because when you follow your word, you start to build a more positive relationship with yourself. You start to trust yourself more. And when you trust yourself more, your self-esteem, confidence, and inner frame becomes more rock solid, right? Your word becomes bond. You see, when you act in a way that doesn't follow your script, you sacrifice your integrity. At the end of the day, your integrity is all you have. So you want to make sure that when you say you're going to do something, you do it. Now, if this is a problem for you, and this is mainly my problem, an easier solution may be to be slower to commit to things. Like me, a weakness I have is if somebody asks me to do something, if I feel excited by the ask, I'll go ahead and commit to it. Or if I get into a people pleaser type of mode, I may commit to it. The best course of action in that situation is to delay your commitment until you are 100% certain that you can fulfill your end of the bargain. Now, again, this is one of those things going to help you across all domains in your life. If you hear women talk about relationship woes, one of the biggest problems they have is that their man just isn't trustworthy. He just doesn't do what he says he's going to do. And if you can get good at this one area in your life, you'll be a top tier man just by making this change alone. Whatever you do, you're always watching. Whatever you say you're going to do, you're always a part of you is always watching to assess whether or not you did that thing, right? And if you don't do it, you'll criticize yourself. You'll give yourself a low Rotten Tomato score, right? So you want to make sure that Rotten Tomato score is high. And the way that you do that is to always follow your script. Have a good script, always follow it. So in summary, the 6 things you can do to improve your self-esteem is to 1, get clear on your values and act upon them. 2, accept yourself, flaws and all. 3, stop looking for a savior. Please stop looking for a savior. 4, take up space and flex on them. 5, always have a project. And number 6, always follow your script. And with that, I'm gonna leave you all with this video. I'll be back with another one in a few days. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll holler at you next time.